These are the intro slides to our fossil record unit. So what is a fossil record? Fossils are more than just looking at animals in the past. We use the fossil records to explain the history of the Earth. So that's how we know about evolution. That is how we know so much about ancient animals and plant life and how life was back thousands and millions of years. So location. So when we talk about location, we're talking about fossils. Fossils are always found in sedimentary rocks. Fossils of the simplest organisms are found in the oldest sedimentary rock because they are older, and fossils of more complex organisms are found in the newest rocks, which is at the top. So if you think about your dirty laundry, and we have a clothes hamper where we're going to put our dirty laundry in instead of on the floor. And each day I throw my stinky dirty clothes into the laundry basket. The stinkier, older clothes are going to be on the bottom because they have been there the longest. And the clothes that have been in there the least amount of time are going to be on the top. This is going to be very, very important when we start comparing fossils and their age. How old? So how do we know how old these fossils are? How do we know the difference between them being thousands and millions of years old? Well, we know that fossils were created a long time ago because it takes a while for them to become fossils. And scientists use a method called radiometric dating and also something called relative dating. And so we're going to go into a little bit more detail in the future about that. But radiometric dating is a way that scientists can figure out how old a fossil is. So, okay, so we have this. We know like where the oldest fossils are, where the youngest fossils are. We know that fossils tell us about a whole bunch of different stuff about how life was millions of years ago. We can also tell somebody how old fossils are. So, okay, what does that tell us? So, it documents the existence, that these creatures or organisms existed, that they were alive. Diversity, that it just wasn't all one thing, that there was a variety of different type of organisms alive. Extinction, okay, so the dinosaurs, for example, were alive millions of years ago. We know they are no longer alive, so they are extinct. And change of many life forms. So, for example, like you're learning in social studies class, the humans have evolved over time. Organisms have evolved over time. One of the big ones we're going to be looking at is the whale, which is really cool. And this has happened throughout the history of life on Earth. So, how are they formed? Well, fossils need to have these conditions in order to be fossilized. So it needs to be just the right, perfect amount. So one is insufficient oxygen. That means there's no oxygen. That means that if there's no oxygen, organisms cannot break down and decompose the organism. So an example for that is when an organism becomes trapped in amber. An example of that is in that movie with dinosaurs. I can't think of it right now. But anyways, they take out the DNA and they create a new they bring back the dinosaurs and they have a dinosaur park. Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is an example of that. Another is low temperature. So for example, when an organism is frozen in glaciers, they are fossilized. And when an organism falls in peat bog, that means there's high soil acidity, and so then those are also the perfect circumstances.